centroids and moment of inertia. It's a very important requisite, in the next topics, the succeeding topics, especially in design, and it's very evident in, uh, especially in steel design and even in concrete. Much more in steel design, by which there are some complicated, built up sections by which we need to identify, compute for centroids and moment of inertia. So as you can see here, how we in the drawing, this is how we come up with the computation of centroid. Okay, for example, here we have the total certain, let's say, certain area or certain body. We'll just get the centroid at each section or at each part. If we're going to, if it's an irregular section, then you need to get the different parts. And then, and in each part, for example, this W1, you get the centroid, okay, with respect to X. So you have here the X axis, and then you have here the Y axis. So here we have here the distance here, from here going here, which will be X1, obviously for this for 1. And then here for X2. So here X2, here is X1. Considering this is W1, W2, and similarly here, there's also distance. Depending on the centroid that you would like to compute, if it's centroid along X axis or X, and then Y for Y axis. So for example, we take consideration this this axis. You have Z. See, this is for 3D. Okay, it's a solid. The Z and X axis. Okay, it's Z and X axis. So you have here, this is X. So let's say this is Y, because I'm referring here for Y. So this is Y. Let's say it's Y. So it's Y prime for the total weight, and then you have here Y1 for weight 1, Y2 for weight 2. Okay, so the total weight, just multiply it by the X bar or the centroid of the total of this body, of this complete body, and then is just equal to the corresponding weight and then its corresponding distance from this axis or Z axis, and so on. Okay. Similarly for Y, okay, you have the total weight and then Y bar, and then you have W1 times Y1, W times Y2, up to when it reaches to Wn times Yn. So meaning, if you are going to divide into different parts a certain area, in most cases, for example, there's a combination of rectangle and triangle. So you are going to do into different areas. So what are the common basic shape that we just need to remember? For example, for rectangle, you have the area is B, the base, times D, and then the centroid, okay, we know it, it's just 1/2 of B from here, and the 1/2 of D if it is here, okay, here, it's 1/2 of D, here is 1/2 of B, B over 2, okay. I change my, okay. So for triangle, you have 1/2 BH, that is for height. Here, it's 1/2 BH. But obviously here, if you have this kind of triangle, you can just, it's easy to identify here. Okay. It is just X over 2 if it is this kind of triangle. Similarly, for semicircle, you just need to identify this height, okay, for your radius. And for circle, it's easy because it is just in the origin of a Cartesian coordinate system. It's in the middle. So example, this is the center, by the way, for the triangle. This was the area. Okay, we're referring to the area here. Also here, the area of the circle is pi r squared if we are referring to radius, and pi d squared over 4 if we are using the diameter. In other words, if you have just semicircle, it's just 1/2 of pi r squared. P or pi. Okay, pi or pi, which means pi, or we have this one. Okay. The centroid is 0.424 r. Okay, the centroid is 0.424 r, coming from the base of this so starting from the base here, going to the centroid C. Okay, so it's 0.424 r. Okay, so also for quarter of a circle, you have here 0.424 r, starting from here for y bar, and then here also it's also 0.424 r. Okay, so these are just the common figures that we need to remember. And we have also the spandrel. When you say spandrel, if we have here a parabola, right, for this one, this line, okay, this line is for the parabola. For example, parabola, certain parabola, hyperbola, meaning a degree of a second degree, may possibly. Then you have here is parabola to the power of 2. So the remaining area, this one, if you have a rectangle, if you have a rectangle bounded by these lines and then this parabolic line, and then this remaining area is what we call spandrel. And how are we going to compute the area? Okay. You have to use this formula. B and then H. N is the degree if that's the value here of N. If it's, for example, kx squared, meaning that's a parabola. N is equal to 2. So this is x bar, okay, starting from here. Okay, this is the x bar starting from here. It's b over n plus 2. That's why if you're for triangle, what's the degree of the triangle here? The degree is what? First degree, right? So that's why the area is, if we use this one, if we use this formula, the centroid, I should say, b is equal to n is 1 plus 2 is 3, 1/3 of b. For area, if n is 1, that becomes n plus 1 or 1 plus 1. Area for triangle is bh over n plus 1, 1 plus 1 becomes 2 or 1/2 bh. That's the area of a triangle, which is coming from this formula. Okay, just to show you how to use the degree. Mostly we are just going to use here the x, and then here if we have to compute for y bar. How we are going to identify if it's y bar? Obviously, okay, parabola is going like this. So here in this part is for your y bar and then x bar. So let us just have example. So as you can see, this is a composition of a rectangle, and this part is quarter of a circle. And then what we are going to compute, is this, what's it? Determine the position of the shaded area. Okay. So meaning the centroid of this shaded area. So what is this shaded area. How are we going to compute that? You're still there? All right, thank you. So if you have this area, you need to identify first each of the part. We will make it as simple as like this. Compute for the quarter of a circle. The area of the quarter of the circle is this one. It's just 1/4 of the area of a circle. So you have your 1/2 or 1/4 pi r squared. It's 1/4 pi r squared. So you have here r is given to be here 5. So we can compute the area. How about the centroid x? It's 0.424 r. 0.424 r. Starting from here, x going from here. Okay, this is 0.424 r. Take note that we are computing the location of the shaded area at this origin 0, 0. So all our reference is coming from here. If it's coming from this height, we should have to add here to here. Okay. If the reference of your centroid is coming from here. But anyway, it's easy to identify because it's 6. Once we computed the centroid all from this origin, we can just add 6. Okay. If we are going to compute x bar. And y bar, we also have here the dimension. Okay. So you have ax and then ay. So we can compute ax and then as well for and ay as well. Y, the same value, 0.424 r. Then we can compute ay. Now, how about for rectangle 5/4? Where's this 5/4? This is 4. Okay. If this is 6, okay, this is 7.5. In other words, that this one is what? 1.5. Okay. So this is the triangle that we are referring to, 5/4. Take note, we are all computing area. It's all positive. And later, this triangle, this one will be negative because we are going to subtract it. So the centroid for this along x is 2.5 for this 5/4. Take note, we are computing this. We are computing this 5/4. So along x, you have 2.5. Okay. Here, from here, it's 2.5. And we can compute ax. Later, we're just going to use the formula. So this one is better to do it, to compute it. Why it's negative y? Why is it that it's negative 2? Because it's going down. Here is our 0. Negative 2 is from here. So this is negative 2 going down. So we consider negative sign. So area is negative 40. AY should say is negative 40. AX is positive 50. Also for rectangle. Rectangle which has, sorry. The other rectangle 6/9. Where's the 6/9? Sorry. Okay, where's the 6/9? This one is our 6/9. Okay, 6/9. So the area is just 6 times 9. X bar coming from here. Of course, this is 6. X bar here is just 3. But this one is negative. AX, just have to multiply the area 54 and then x. Okay. Y as well. So if it is 9, this is 4. The centroid is here. it's supposedly 4.5. If this is 4, so meaning here it's going to be 0.5. Okay, it's positive because it's above 0, and then you can compute the area y or AY, 27. And then the triangle, now triangle, we are going to use, well, to make it, we are going to make it as negative. Why negative? Because we are going to subtract that area, and we are only interested on the shaded part. Okay. So area one half of 7.5 and 9. So we can have negative 33.75. What is x? Okay. What is x? This is the 7.5. The centroid coming from here. If this is the centroid of the triangle, coming from here is just 7.5 divide 3 or 1/3. Okay. So meaning it's 2.5. That's why, see, you have 6. Where's this 6? Okay. This is our centroid coming from O. So this one is 6. This is 6 subtracted by this one, 1/3 of 7.5, which is 2.5. Okay. So you have, what's that? 3.5. And then AX, we just multiply X and A. Then you have Y. Okay, what is the centroid of, what is the centroid? Coming from 0, going down. This is 9. Okay, take note. Okay, this one is 4. Okay. Centroid is coming from here. This one is 1/3 of 9, which is this 1/3 of 9, which is 3. So meaning the remaining here is, if this is 4, the remaining here is 1. But it's negative 1 because it's going down. Multiplied by the area, negative 33.75, so that becomes your positive. Okay. So we put it again in the table. This is what we have computed earlier. We just summarize it. So we sum up all the AY, all the AX, okay? And then all the area. We have this formula, which we just discussed earlier, the formula. You have AX bar for X is equal to summation of AX. The summation of AX is this one, okay? So we can have this 47.9 over the total area, which is 59.9. We can compute 0.8 as our centroid along X. And similarly for Y, we just substitute this AY, and then you have the total area as well. You can have 1.04. Any question? Any question? No question? We'll continue. Okay, shall we continue? No question, okay. So about this spandrel. So here we are just going to subtract the big triangle by this spandrel. Okay, this is the spandrel. To compute for the moment of area about the y-axis of the shaded area. So we are interested about the moment of area. When you say moment of area, it is just area multiplied by the centroid. This is moment of area about the y-axis, moment of area, AX, because it's coming from y-axis. Okay, so we are going to compute this part. This is the X bar. So we are going to identify this AX bar or the moment area. This is the lever arm and this one is the area. So we call this one moment area. So we recall this formula that I just discussed a while ago. This is for area, for x bar, and then for y bar. So we have here y squared kx cube, which we can write, we divide both sides by, okay, to the power of 1/2. So we can have this, okay, because k, it is just k when we distribute 1/2, and then x cube will become 3/2. Okay, in other words, we have like this, and then from that we can use the formula. Since here is our n, we can just substitute area from here, bhn plus 1. What is n plus 1? When n is 3/2, okay, when n is 3/2 plus 1, 1 or 2 over 2, right? 3 plus 2, 5. 2 copy. Then get the reciprocal or reciprocate it. So that becomes BH. So it will become like this one. Okay? BH over 5 over 2. In other words, when you put 2 up, you will have area equivalent to 2BH over 5. This is just a mathematical operation. Okay? Now, how about the centroid? We are going to use this one. This coming from x. This is this x, or coming from this area, this side. So bn over 2. So if we have this one, bn is 3 over 2 plus 2. 2 is just like, okay, it is just like 4 over 2. Okay, 4 divided 2 is 2. 4 plus 3 is 7, and then 2 copies. So that's why you have 2 here at the top, 2b over 7. Okay, so we can now say ax bar is just equal to the big triangle. What is this 1/2 12 18 times 21? 1/2 area of this, the area of the triangle. 18 is this side, and then 21 is this of this side. The centroid of the triangle coming from here is just 2/3 of base, or 2/3 of 21, which is this one. Okay. Now minus, what is this 2/5? Okay, the one that we compute earlier here, area. Okay, this one, area of the spandrel, 2/5. Oh, this one actually it's already here. 2/5 of base. What is base? 21. Height is 18. Centroid. Okay. How come that we have here 5 over 7? That we computed is 2 5 over 7? Because this one is 2 over 7 of B, right? So remaining here, from here, going here, if this is 2 over 7, this one should be 5 over 7. Am I right? So it's 5 over 7 of 21. What is 21? It's this one. Okay, then we just use our calculator, then we can solve for this area. Okay? Any question for the centroid?
No question.
Okay, very good.
Very clear.
So let's continue. So how about moment of inertia? Now for moment of inertia, we have actually this is from the derivation is from integral calculus. Okay, but I'm not going to be very specific with that. So if we are going to get the moment of inertia with respect to x-axis here, okay. So we have the integral of what is y squared. This is distance, okay. This we revolve here. We say this is the distance of this particular area. We square this one, y squared, and then the differential area. Okay. If this is a big area, we just make a very small or a strip, just like a rectangular strip, so that it would be easy to calculate if this area is being described by a boundaries of line or equation. So it would be better to make it into strips, just like a rectangular strip, because a rectangle could be easily calculated as base times height, or x and y. Okay, so this is the derivation. So let's say reduce of gyration, as we all know, we needed to have this formula, which we are going to further discuss this one in the next sessions. But very much interested about this one, okay? Transfer moment of inertia, because we always use this one in all our calculation, okay? Because especially when we have belt up section, for example, you have here a plate, and then you have another plate, and then maybe here another also plate, and then we have angular bar here. So we get the center. For example, the center is coming from here. So these areas we need to transfer here. This one we need to transfer here. Also this angle bar we need also to transfer all to this neutral axis. Okay. So we just have to transfer, for example, the neutral axis of this body is here. Now from here, we are going to transfer here to a certain axis, maybe the neutral axis of the whole belt up section, just like this one. So just like you just need the moment of inertia with respect to XO, this one is the XO, okay, of this body, and then the area of this one, the area of the section, if it's a rectangle or whatever, if it's a angle bar, and then you need to transfer here. So you need the distance, the centroid or XO, the centroid of this big body, to the new axis, possibly in a neutral axis. That distance is being referred to as D. So you have IXO, which is the neutral moment of inertia at XO, or maybe it could be the location of centroid of that body, and then plus area of this body, and then the distance of that body, centroid of that body to the neutral axis of the whole thing, or the whole belt up section. So for example, just to show you how we came up with BD cube over 12 for our moment of inertia. Okay? Moment of inertia. Sorry. 15 minutes. Okay, let's continue. So just to show you how this one was calculated. Okay, this moment of inertia of a rectangle is coming from this analysis or derivation. So you have a rectangle here. We come up with the differential strip. As I told you, it's a rectangle. You have this dy, and then here is b. So the area is b times dy, because the rectangular strip has dimension b and then dy. So the area, which is the differential area, is b and dy. Distance here to here is y. So the y ranges from here from 0 to a certain height, which is h over 2. So coming up with this formula, so substituting further, the limit is from here is, if this is 0, here is negative h over 2, and then this one is h over 2 positive. So it travels, or it ranges from negative h over 2 to positive h over 2. So these are our limits. We substituted y squared and then differential area. And then differential area, as we have already identified, is BDY. Then going further with this calculation, we have arrived with this moment of inertia with respect to this axis, B h cube over 12. Now, if we are going to transfer at the base, you have here Ix. The moment of inertia at this axis is BH cube over 12. And then the area of this whole rectangle, the area of this one is BD. Okay. And then this is our D. okay, which is just h over 2, or let's say d over 2. Yeah, h over 2, I should say. Here it's bh, and then here h over 2 squared. Okay, so the formula AD squared. This one is squared, and then this one is squared. So meaning we can have here bh cube over 12 plus this one bh, and then squared will become bh cube also over 2 squared is 4. Okay, this one, if we simplify, 1/4 is just equal, the same as 3 over 12. Okay, so 3 over 12, 3 plus 1 is 4 over 12. So in other words, you have bh cube over 3. If you remember, in our previous formula, okay, moment of inertia, this one, no, here. The formula for moment of inertia, no, it's in the next slide. See, moment of inertia for the rectangle, okay, here at x, here is bh cube over 3. Moment of inertia of the rectangle here is bh cube over 12. So this is the moment of inertia when we transfer from this axis going here, it becomes bh cube over 3. So all the derivations of this different figure came from this integral calculation concept. Okay, so I think we'll end up first up to here. I have an important appointment actually to just complete this one. I will just look into your quiz. You may open your camera if it's all with you. Okay, I will just take a look with your quiz and give you feedback. I will see you next meeting. I'm sorry, I will end up this one, so let us know. If you have some questions, you may ask, or you may send it also in the WhatsApp, or even and better in the classroom. So I could, if you have some questions with the problems, just drop a question in the classroom. Okay. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that's all for now. You may, if you have no questions, you may just end. Okay.
Okay po.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir,
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you po.
for the effort.